あのアクションゲームで大好評のロックマン X シリーズがついに32ビット機に登場。ロックマン X3。
It's 1994, and Minakuchi Engineering have just released their newest Mega Man game, Mega Man The Wily Wars for Sega Genesis, or the Mega Drive for everybody else. The Wily Wars would end up being Minakuchi's most ambitious Mega Man game yet, remaking the first 3 games while also dropping a 4th game mode, Wily Tower. Wily Tower would allow the player to combine various weapons and items into one huge selection and tackle stages with various loadouts. Their next project after this would be their biggest game ever, Mega Man X3. Man with obsessive-compulsive Zero Syndrome Keiji Inafune had problems with X3's development, mostly because it was done by outsiders. This is a funny statement when you consider Inafune would hand off his baby boy Zero to third-party developer and one of the masters of 2D action gaming, Inti Creates. They also helped make Mighty No. 9, but I don't really hold that against them. There are actually 2 versions of X3, a 16-bit and a 32-bit version. The 32-bit version would be the definitive version if it were easy to find and play, outside of the X collection, which was last released on PS2. The best chance you have of playing it is grabbing a Japanese version and patching it with the English translation. It has anime cutscenes which I'll show you throughout the video and alternate music which ranges from awesome to meh. I've actually rewritten and retooled the script for this so many times because the way you have to play X3 is different than any Mega Man X game I've ever played. We are doing the usual format this time because while X3 isn't a bad game, I don't think it's great either. Good, but man, it could be so much better. The game opens with a Reploid scientist named Doppler who develops a neurocomputer to neutralize Mavericks. This causes mostly advanced Reploids to move and form Doppeltown, a utopian community, but within months it goes tits up and Reploids go berserk. The Maverick Hunter is named Doppler, the main suspect. We are getting far too on the nose with his name. X and Zero defend the city, but Doppler's army decides to attack the Hunter base, which is a bad move, especially with a world-destroying force like X. The first thing you're going to notice is the damage to Naked X. It's really high compared to even X2. On Overed X always took more damage, but nothing truly uncomfortable. Here though, too high. It makes the game unnecessarily difficult to newcomers. X finds his fellow hunter Mac, who captures him after catching him off guard. Zero appears in his first playable section to save X, and kids, when I saw this for the first time, I got goosebumps. This was something I thought would never happen in any X game for that matter, but when it happened in X3, my reaction was I freaked the hell out and actually wanted to play the section and the entire game as Zero because I thought that was something you could do. It is not. Zero has a level 4 charge, the X2 Buster, and his saber for massive damage. He takes half damage and he basically plays like X from X2, but he can't use boss weapons. Zero doesn't get to do much in this game, which is a massively missed opportunity. He can't fight bosses or even mid-bosses and thus can't use their weapons. If you die as Zero in regular levels, which you can do after the intro stage, you can't use Zero for the rest of the game. Why include Zero at all if you aren't even going to be able to fight bosses? It's not like Zero can even access secrets. When X destroys Mal the Giant, Zero says you could call for him if you need his help, but we won't be because I am in fact a super fighting robot. Now comes the weird part of this video where I have to pick a topic to talk about, so first, let's start with the weapons you get, which I'm going to say 4 of which are actually useful and 4 of which are mostly trash. Those 4 that are mostly trash are used mainly to get other items and armor parts like a weird Metroid game before the Castlevania bits came in 97.
Like
The best weapon in the game, despite me not using it much, is the Triad Thunder, because it nukes smaller enemies in one hit, which is 90% of the enemies in the Maverick stages. Followed by that is the Spinning Blade, the game's most damaging weapon, which automatically makes it one of the best, despite it being short range and then going behind you. The Frost Tower is mostly useful, and you see me use it the most because it fits my playstyle best. It deals great damage despite it being really slow, and the last weapon I find useful is the Ray Splasher, because of the range and the damage it can deal. As for the rest, well, the less said about the gravity well the better. It only works on flying enemies and is used for getting the body parts. The Tornado Fang is awful as well, little damage, and is used for secret hunting, and it doesn't help that the startup is, well, slower than the damn Frost Tower of all things. The Acid Burst would be better if it wasn't already outranked at damage by the Triad Thunder and Spinning Blade, and the Parasitic Bomb I find no use for because everything it can do, literally any other weapon can do better. In Blast Hornet's level, we also unlock the Right Armors, of which there are 4 varieties and versions. We have the normal Chimera Right Armor, which punches and dashes, the Kangaroo, which is a more powerful Chimera, the Hawk shoots missiles and flies, and the Frog hops and is only useful in water for getting 1 secret in 1 level. I'd be okay with this system if I didn't have to secret hunt for all of them in the stages. Collecting all 4 of them doesn't get you a super right armor, and it only comes up in 1 stage. No boss fight with these either, which is undercooked and disappointing. The armor parts in this game are okay, I guess. The Buster sucks because it's not the X2 Buster, but it especially sucks because it's a combination buster only useful for blasting enemies off screen vertically. It's dog shit for bosses. If you're wondering if I neon in this game, I don't see the point unless you really want to look flashy and cool, especially in that vertical section in Doppler 2. Don't worry, I have plenty to say about that. The helmet part is a secret hunting item that you need the Buster and Triad Thunder to get, meaning you've either already discovered half the game's secrets, making it useless. The foot parts give you an air dash, but an additional one that allows you to dash upwards, which is, you guessed it, used for mainly secrets. It's a nice movement option too, I guess. The best upgrade? The body parts. Half damage with a shield that reduces damage by an even further 25%? Fuck yes. The body parts are what make X3 far easier to go through than it should be. What was once a harder game is now made easier due to a single upgrade that single-handedly breaks the game. Now we have to talk about one more thing, the pink capsules. The pink capsules give you an additional upgrade chip for each part. The foot chip gives you an additional air dash, the body chip reduces damage by an additional 25%. What? The helmet chip refills your health if you stand still, which is a cool upgrade, I guess. This applies to sub-tanks too, by the way. And the arm chip gives you the hypercharge, which is this game's Giga Tech, which is kinda pathetic and only useful on Sigma when you're about to kill him, if I'm being honest. X3's biggest secret, though, is getting all the armor parts, all the sub-tanks, heart tanks, and even the damn ride armors. In Doppler Stage 1, approach this spot with full health and you find a pink capsule with the hyper chip, which gives you all the chip abilities at once. The pink capsules should have been left out entirely unless you're willing to do an upgrade system where you can change them in a menu. The hyperchip breaks the Doppler stages so badly I never skipped getting it. It's time to get into the nitty-gritty of this game, kids. The stages and bosses, and let me tell you, if I'm separating the stages and weapons away from each other, it's usually for a reason. Well, the reason is this. Mega Man X3 is a slightly disguised Metroid game. Allow me to demonstrate. So I beat Billzard Buffalo first, right? Oh yeah, his name is now Billzard Buffalo because this FMV says so. Anyway, I beat him first and go through Tunnel Rhino's mine level and obtain the Tornado Fang. Once I have his drill, I can now unlock and get into certain areas I couldn't before, like this Heartache and Billzard Buffalo stage or the Ride Armor and Blast Hornets level, which you have to unlock by riding it. No, I'm not joking. So the stages are mostly linear with conveyor belts with enemies that sometimes have hazards, stages littered with enemies that have an elevator, or stages that have a mini-boss, or a bit and bite encounter, or Vile stage warp. We'll get to the Nightmare Police and Vile in a bit. The stages don't have much dynamism to them except for maybe 2. Like I know the lights in Billzard Buffalo stage come back on after you beat Volt Catfish, and the Heartache and Gravity Beetle stage opens up after you beat Blast Hornet. Also, after you beat Blast Hornet, these orange enemies turn into these green ones in the Maverick levels, but stay orange in Doppler levels. That's really it, though. For what X2 did in establishing the series' identity only for Minakuchi to attempt to add more secrets in an attempt to slow the game down, really went against what was established in X2 for better or worse, usually worse. X3 isn't a bad game because it's part of the Holy Trinity, but it's nowhere near as good as X2, and I consider it even worse than X1. You will be replaying levels in any playthrough because you will need the Buster, the Boots, the Gravity Well, the Tornado Fang, and the Ride Armors just to get all the items. It is worth that for that Hyper Armor though. The bosses all have incredibly repetitive patterns. How repetitive? Well, Buffalo can be beaten with me spamming the upwards air dash. It's the best known exploit on him because it fucks with his AI and forces him into this pattern. Tunnel Rhino's only pattern is to charge the wall to be a victim of constant charge shots. The only boss I feel you can't completely exploit without a weapon is Neon Tiger, who dies to spam anyways. Bosses also have flinch frames in this game due to their weaknesses, making the majority of them pathetic. Volt Catfish and Toxic Seahorse come to mind in particular. Bosses in this game are really easy, and stages are only harder in the beginning due to damage. Nothing really challenges me in this game, even without the body parts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair.
It's time for the Doppler levels. X3's final levels are just as weird as the regular levels, but are more sluggish in some cases. Doppler Stage 1 has this mini-boss that's easily destroyed using the spinning blade in 4 hits. Bosses can change in these stages too. Remember the Nightmare Police who would randomly show up along with Vile? Well, now is a good enough time to talk about them, I think. During the Maverick levels, you can face Bit and Bite when you go through these mid-boss doors. It seems random when they pop up, and I think it is random. Don't quote me on that. You can kill them outright, but spare one or both, and God Carmachine Owenary is the boss of Doppler Stage 1. I never see him because Bit and Bite go down like wimps to their weaknesses, the Frost Shield for Bit, and the Tornado Fang for Bite. Owenary isn't that much harder of a boss. I just face this toxic sludge boss every single time. Vile's super secret level with just access with these teleporters is mostly hazard free except with, you guessed it, another fucking elevator. His fight is also way easy. If he lives past this stage or you miss it, Doppler Stage 2 is mostly destroyed and the fight with mosquitoes can't happen. If Vile is dead, you can not only get Zero Saber here by beating Mosquitoes to zero, but you also fight a stationary squid boss. Let's be real, we all mostly get the Z Saber because it trivializes the rematch fights, but doing so locks you into the bad ending, which feels like a really unfair punishment to the player. Doppler Stage 2 also has this bit with these Escanales, the only enemy worth the name in this video. If you're doing Neons, you can just damage boost up, but I don't, so I take the long way. It's easily the worst section in the SNES trilogy. It's so fucking slow, and having to stop and go upwards is something that was abandoned even in X1. Doppler Stage 3 is the rematch level, which goes longer without the Z-Saber. That's okay. Humiliating Mavericks is what we as super fighting robots do.
Super fighting robot, Mega Man. 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 Super
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Damn, son, where'd you park?
Doppler says Sigma infiltrated his systems and forced him to make his battle body. Let's see how that goes. If you have Zero alive still, he goes to destroy the reactor. So Sigma greets us with his second Patrick Bateman impression.
An idea of a Patrick Bateman. Some kind of abstraction. But there is no real me. Only an entity. Something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
So Sigma is actually tough, especially in the later portions of this fight. I'm doing this particular fight without the saber too. The best strategy for him is to just air dash to the next wall and force him to jump into the middle, then spam Spinning Blade on him. Watch that shield throw, especially towards the end where it just flies in the air all over the arena when he attempts to shoot you. The battle body is way harder even with the golden armor. One hit from a missile can deal a third of your health bar. He also fires these mines, and this blue ray he fires does DPS of 1 HP every half second. This is easily the hardest Sigma fight in the entire series. The only one harder is an X8 on hard mode. Whoa, shit! Sigma tries to possess X and you can die during the escape. I wanted to test it. Die here and you have to restart the stage all over again. That's right, go through Sigma twice. Yeah, no, that's fine. Sigma traps X, and because I'm going for the canon ending, Zero shows up and slices Sigma with a saber with Doppler's vaccine to the Sigma virus. Sure. And the reactor explodes, destroying Doppler's lab. And what did I get for all that? The same damn ending. Yeah, the good ending is just Zero being on a cliffside with X instead of special text. The good ending is bullshit. Just do yourself a favor and get the saber because it makes Sigma a joke in this game. Finally, that's it. We're done with the SNES trilogy. Mega Man X3 isn't a game I would recommend unless you played at least X1, X2, maybe X4 and X5. It's not even the black sheep of the X series. No, that title belongs to X6, maybe X7. So what happened to Minakuchi Engineering after Mega Man X3? No one really knows. Mega Man X3 was their last Mega Man game before ultimately closing in 2002. X3 might have been their last game, and if it is, that's a shame because this meant they spent 7 years in limbo. It's like the title of this video. X3 was truly about ambition over design.